So, Kaido and Kurama, today, former adversaries in one of my previous videos, are now going to be teaming up to face a monster from neither of their worlds, and that is Godzilla. Specifically, we will be using Heisei Godzilla today. Now, let's start off with our two previous combatants. After all, I will be highballing them in this version just to see how they compare at their best to Godzilla. Now, let's start off. Kaido. Kaido highball is going to be star level. That is correct. Why? Well, he should scale relative to or even above Old Whitebeard. Old Whitebeard Sengoku claiming that he's able to destroy the world. Well, how big is the One Piece world? Most people calculate it to be around star level. Well, guess what? That means if Whitebeard can destroy it, that means it's star level. Cool. So, puts him at star level. What about speed? Well, for speed, we're going to have to go with some older One Piece calcs for the max highball. Those put Kaido, my mistake, at around 2,700 times the speed of light. Yes, that is correct. So, that's how fast Kaido is in this instance. It is quite insane. Now, on to hacks. He can manipulate the weather. He has Boro Breath, and obviously, thanks to Ryo, and Conqueror's Haki, he can attack internal organs, which will be notable in this because getting through the hide of an extremely durable creature will be most difficult. So, next, onto his partner in crime, Kurama. Kurama is also star level. This is due to the fact that Kurama is stated to being able to vaporize a world. This world, in instance, the Naruto world. Well, how big is that one? If you go by a calculation done by most other YouTubers and scalers, you can get the Naruto world to around the size of Jupiter. So, Kurama being able to vaporize this would obviously put him in a massively higher than planet to around, well, star level. Next is speed. So, for speed, we're going to have to use another highballed calc, and this is thanks to the use of Minato. So, Minato being 73 times faster than the Raikage, who is the speed of light, puts base Minato 73 times the speed of light, correct? Good. Now, we put the multiplier for KCM1 on top of that, and that puts him at around 6,480 times faster than light. Everyone understand that? Cool. So, that's how fast Kurama is. As for hacks, I am giving him his anime-only stuff, which allows him to use fire and wind release, and he may also be able to have slight regeneration thanks to things like him being made out of pure chakra. So, those are our two combatants. Now, we're going to get into the main man, and the character who has no correlation on this channel whatsoever. That is right, folks. This is the first time Godzilla has ever made a scene, and we're going with Heisei, who's quite impressive. So, the lowest possible end for Heisei, the literal lowest you can go, is planet level. Okay? That is as low as humanly possible. That's how biased you have to be. I'm starting it off right now. That is because Burning Godzilla could destroy the planet after he dies. So, and on top of that, that was a weaker Burning Godzilla because he did get stronger throughout the film, and fighting against Destroya, he continued to amp himself. So the lowest you can possibly go with Godzilla is planet level. Now, let's get into the higher stuff. So, the next development puts him at around star level. This is, based off of the fact that he is able to box with Batra and Mothra. So, he has the ability to box with both of these opponents simultaneously. This leads to us wondering, well, how strong is Batra? Batra was able to destroy, or was going to destroy, a massive meteor. This meteor was so strong it was going to completely destroy the planet. The Heisei era, people calculated it to be around star level. This, of course, means that Godzilla is star level. Actually, he should be probably twice as strong as star level, because he murdered Batra, and he murdered Batra while fighting Mothra. Mothra is, well, equal to Batra. So this obviously puts him massively above star level, because he was able to fight two opponents that were even stronger than the star level. Anyway, next one. So you can get him even higher, by taking into account his durability, and obviously, Newton's third law. But you may be wondering what I'm talking about. So this is where I bring in the main reason that Godzilla stomps in this instance, and that is Space Godzilla. But how was Space Godzilla created? Space Godzilla was created by Godzilla's cells, which were carried out of the universe, out of the Milky Way galaxy, by Biollante or by Mothra. Either or, the continuity on that is a little dicey, but either way, the cells are in space. Then they get absorbed into a black hole. Okay? Into a black hole. Then they get out of a black hole. Somehow. That's literally impossible, considering light can't even escape a black hole, but Godzilla's cells did that. Okay? Everyone got that? Good. Now, that absorbs multiple supernovas. Multiple. Then, that character loses. Or no. That character makes a beeline to Earth. Then we dub it Space Godzilla. Godzilla did initially lose the one-on-one fight to it. However, he did beat it the second time around, and he not only nearly completely destroyed Space Godzilla, he absolutely fodderized him when he used the Red Spiral Heat Ray, which is something he can use. So, obviously, then he will continually get stronger. How much stronger? Well, to put in perspective, the difference between Godzilla's between movies, for just him getting mutated by modern day nuclear weapons, he was able to grow 200 times stronger. So that is the general consensus. He is able to multiply himself by the hundreds between films. So yeah, this is utterly insane. He, just by the midpoint of Heisei, he should be getting hundreds, maybe thousands of times beyond star level. Then you take into account he gets so strong he can actually pull off nuclear fusion with Fire Rodan's energy, which could even highball him to solar system level. But I've been giving him all this credit. We now need to go into speed, and speed is even more difficult than how I was previously stuttering to just deal with the relative power he holds. So you can lowball, and he has two different speed metas. Obviously, his movement speed is kind of, I'm not going to lie. The best movement speed considered here is him having a wonky calculation which said he can walk at 600 miles an hour, which is not very impressive at all. But his reaction and combat speed is far beyond what anyone should expect from this giant lizard. And I'm being dead serious. It is insane. So, the Godzilla universe in the Heisei era is considered infinite. Space Godzilla is considered to be on the other end of the universe, which is infinite, by the way, and then crossing over to the planet in a very short amount of time, giving him infinite speed. So this should put Godzilla at infinite reaction speed, especially since he was able to dodge attacks from his crystals, which actually made it to Earth faster than his physical form. Now, I'm giving that as a highball for Godzilla. I gotta be honest, personally, I don't give into infinite speed calcs. I think there's just a natural limit to everything, but I understand if you want to use that just to keep things fresh, I guess. But, let alone Space Godzilla, obviously, and Mothra, who are two characters that he has been able to keep up with on multiple occasions. Mothra was able to clear the galaxy rapidly. Just to put into perspective, there is no black hole within thousands of light years near us, and Mothra was somehow able to move his cells from Earth to there in an extremely short amount of time, or Space Godzilla being able to cross in areas between entire galaxies. Even if you do not subscribe to the infinite universe theory, which is completely justified, you would still have to take into account that Space Godzilla is able to move between stars so rapidly and so quickly that this would put Godzilla in the thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands times the speed of light as far as reaction and combat speed. So it's quite insane. Plus, you stack the numerous multipliers on top of that, with Burning Godzilla possibly being hundreds to 1,000 times of a multiplier. It just goes to show that his reaction speed is far beyond what Kurama or Kaido can likely anticipate. However, his atomic breath is genuinely argued. There are multiple different ways to scale it. Sometimes people scale it to a low end of Mach 36.4, which is not high whatsoever, but you can also get it, since it was moving faster than Space Godzilla's projectiles, it should be in that thousands to possibly hundreds of thousands times the speed of light. Alright, that wraps up the stats for both combatants, and as you can clearly see, this fight is not close whatsoever. While I do not deny that Kurama and Kaido will most likely understand the threat that they are in, they will indefinitely need to form a plan just to even survive long enough. And even then, the two of them working together will not have enough attack potency to put Godzilla down, and that's not even taking into account his regeneration. This fight is not close. I will not pretend it is close, but this is the higher ends of both versions, so I can, see an argument if you lowball Godzilla and highball. There's obviously every ways to perceive it, and that's what I love about power scaling. There's always room for people's opinions, and as long as you're not toxic about it, go right ahead. Speaking of that, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I do like to think that I have made a relatively decent community that is not free from toxicity, but it is genuinely nicer than a lot of power scaling communities I have seen or been a part of. So I would just like to thank you all, thank my subscribers, thank everyone for being on this journey with me. I really hope anyone new in this video would like and subscribe. After all, make a lot more power scaling content, and as we grow our community, we're going to keep making things better and bigger. So I will bid you farewell. Have a good day, everyone, and I'll see you later.